Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we are going through 7 XL size knives. Now, these are not the ones that are going to be on the list, but I do love these 3 knives. They are XL size knives. This is the Spartan HARSEY folder. This is actually what I'm carrying right now. That's why I pulled it out. And these knives, you know, this is very expensive. Yes, it's obtainable. Yes, you could buy one literally right now, but they're very expensive. They're, you know, anywhere between $700 and $1,000. Then and this is, the MEDFORD USMC Fighter. It's basically paying homage to the K-Bar. Awesome knife. Very, very hard use knife. Now, this is the Hinder XM24. It is an absolute beast, but these things are extremely difficult to get and are very expensive. So the knives on the list are knives that you can easily get right now. Some are affordable, some are a little more expensive, but let's get into it. First off, we have the CIVIVI BULLMASTIFF. Now this is the big one. They do make a mini version of this with only a 3-inch blade. This is almost a 4-inch blade, but it's like an awesome knife. It really is. The action's amazing. You have this fuller, you can reverse flick. Ergonomics are hand melting. You have a blade shape that's going to be good at utility cuts, and it's very slicey. 9CR18 MOV steel. Very, very smooth. Micarta scales, really good micarta too. We have a deep carry reversible clip, T8 hardware all the way around, good access to the lock bar, just an awesome knife all the way around. But it is discontinued. However, you can buy one right now. I will have everything linked down in the description. They do have some of the small ones and the big ones left, but they are discontinued, so there's only so many left in stock. Once they're gone for good. Let's get to the next one. Now, the next one is the BESTECH FAIRCHILD, one of my all-time favorite XL knives. I absolutely love this knife. Not only its build quality, because you can feel the quality in this, but I love this shape. Love this leaf-shaped blade shape. Great for EDC. This is one of the most versatile blade shapes you can get. There's a reason why SPYDERCO's blade shape is somewhat of a leaf-shaped blade shape. It's because it's one of the useful, if not the most useful blade shape, especially being well-rounded. The blade steel on this is S35 VN blade steel, beautiful satin, titanium frame lock, titanium milled pocket clip, good access to the lock bar. You can see how thick that blade is though. Nice thick blade, but good geometry, tapers down really nicely, and its slice is really good, and it is a guillotine. The detent is very well tuned for this size of a blade, extremely comfortable, and this is a combo design. I'm actually really liking Combo's designs, and actually he's got a smaller version of this coming hopefully this year. We'll see what happens. Next is the Max Ace Hephaestus, and it is an M390 steel drop point, somewhat of a dropped clip point blade. It's a clip point blade with a beautiful recurve. Not too much recurve, just enough to be very functional. And this is an absolute beast. This is a real hard use knife. So one, it comes with a pin that you can put in there and you can easily just screw it in. But it also has a lock right here that you can lock so you can't disengage the lock bar. So it has multiple forms of locking on the knife, which if you look at the stop pin is the thumb studs, and you can see they're nice and big. Plus it has this stop pin as well, so double stop pin. Then if you put the pin in there, I mean, breaking a pin that size is very unlikely. This is the one knife I think could possibly compete with a triad lock if you used all the mechanisms. But yes, if you just turn this thing, no, I would say the triad lock will probably win. Most likely will win, but this thing is such a beast. Absolute guillotine, aside from it does have that hole. So you do, because of the hole right here in the blade, so you do hit that. So it's somewhat of a safety feature at the same time. See how it like catches right there? But you can easily slap right past it. The flipper tab works great. Very ergonomic. It's a beast. It's an absolute monster. What a tank. But yeah, I love it. Next is The SPYDERCO YOJUMBO. Now, this does come in a smaller size, the YOJUMBO. This is somewhat of a tactical fighting knife. Hollow ground, deep hollow ground, worn cliff blade, very, very thin geometry. Great ergonomics. It's very, very slicey. It has the compression lock, which is a nice, strong locking system. I have thought about cutting in a nice, good finger choil right there because it would give me a little bit better ergos too. But I don't know. But either way, I love the knife. I love the regular size one too, the smaller one, which is a 3-inch blade. It's probably even more useful than one this big, but you can't deny it's awesome. S30V, by the way. S30V G10 steel liners. And then next, same blade steel, same everything, except for this uses the ball lock. And this is the MANIX XL. Possibly my all-time favorite XL knife ever. I absolutely love this knife. If you've never used this, again, like I was saying before with the blade shape, it has a leaf shape, blade shape, drop point blade that's very leaf shaped. And like I was saying before, it's one of the most usefulest blade shapes you can get. And then once you get it into a big knife like this, if you've never tried a knife this size, or not, sorry, not this size, if you've never tried this knife in the XL size, man, you're missing out. You're missing out because this thing is, it almost is like you're using a small knife and a big knife all at once. It's very easy to wield. You have a locking system that locks up rock solid and is made to be used. It's made to be fidgeted with. It's made to be open and closed, open and closed. I absolutely love the MANIX XL. Next, the KANSEPT Shikari. It is labeled a hunting knife, and I gotta say, it's one I also really, really adore. Nice, beautiful clip point blade, nice geometry, especially for such a big knife. This one is the Damascus version, but it also comes in, I think, S35 VN, or maybe it's 20 CV. I think it's S35, but it might be 20 CV. But it also comes in different kinds of materials. You have the titanium bolster lock, but it also comes in micarta, and then I think something else too. Titanium milled pocket clip and back spacer. Ergos are hand melting. Doesn't matter what grip you have it in. And, you know, yes, it's an XL knife and a beast. It's definitely very, very smooth, complete guillotine, which you wouldn't typically think of from a hunting knife. But I will say, if you like big knives for your hunting expeditions, or even just for on the campsite, cutting up the meat, cutting up things, maybe skinning and things like that, this will definitely work really, really good. It is riding on ceramic caged bearings, so they should be pretty easy to rinse out. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful knife, very well done, and it feels very premium. And it does have a little bit of a hefty price tag. And last, we have the Cold Steel SR1 Light and the 4 Max Scout. Now, these knives are undeniably hard use knives. They are beasts. Some of the strongest locking systems known to man. Now, we talked about this knife earlier, possibly being stronger than this with all the locking mechanisms put into place. This, all you got to do is open the knife. You open the knife and you have this big beastly triad lock with this huge stop pin. Locks it in place. The more pressure you apply, the stronger the lock gets. You can chop with it. You can baton with it. You can do anything with it. Really quick, because I talked about the pin that goes in this one. Well, the 4MAX also has a spot for a pin, but the thing is, though, is that there's room between the blade and where the pin would go, so the lock would have to fail first, and then the pin would stop the blade from closing, even though, you know, you're not going to break this lock in order to find out, but you'd have to break the lock in order for the pin to come in to contact. This one, the pin goes through the scales and the blade. So in order for the lock to fail, the pin would have to snap, which in my opinion makes it a little bit stronger. But not saying that this knife is overall stronger, just that way of doing the pin. It is an absolute monster of a lock. The triad lock is just, go watch some videos. You can go watch videos of them testing how strong it is, and it is incredible. Like, it surprises me just, you know, thinking of, like, man, I can't believe how much this knife can hold. And when you use it, when you actually hard use these knives and you're chopping with them and prying with them and doing all those things, and you see that they never skip a beat, that they continue just pushing along, they continue opening up, they continue closing, you know, like all the things that you'd expect a knife to fail with during hard use, these knives just keep ticking. They absolutely love being abused. Now, this is ACR13 MOV, but I think there is another version in S35VN. Not my favorite steel, however, this is kind of just a hard use knife. I think of it as somewhat of a cutting pry bar, so I'm not really worried about the steel on this particular one. However, on this one, I do like that it's AUS 10A, good solid steel, takes a good edge, plenty tough, especially with this geometry. Yeah. I would obviously prefer to be S35VN, but I am perfectly okay with the AUS 10A. I think Cold Steel does a good job with it. And yeah, there you guys go. Just a quick look at 7 big XL size knives that I personally think are awesome. I love you guys. Peace.